Hi everyone, welcome to the Diecast collection Videoarts channel. I am going to show you the 2017 Ford GT by Maisto. This is part of the special edition series. Before I got this model, I checked my current collection of Ford GTs and discovered that I did not have a larger scale model of this car. I know that the small scale models are detailed, but I know also that they're not as detailed as the larger scale model. I would like to know more about this supercar, so I tried to find a brand that is affordable with enough detail. A good thing that Maisto produced the 1/18 scale special edition series, and Ford GT is one of them, so I got this car. It looks accurate with the real car, it even has interactive features. We will see more of the Ford GT in this video. Here is a short comparison of the driver's side of the Ford GT with a small 1/64 scale model. We can see the size differences between the large scale model 1/18 scale and the small scale model 1/64 scale, and the details are different. There's so much to show in this Ford GT, and I'm going to show you instead the things that are standing out for this large scale model. Some of the details have multiple parts, like the wheels. Each wheel has 3 parts. One for the tire, the next one is for the rim, here with the thin spokes. It even has these nuts to connect the wheel on the axle. In between the spokes is the brake disc with rivets to make it more realistic. The brake caliper attached at the side of the brake disc. The same is with the back wheel, 3 parts. But a little variation for this back wheel is the brake disc is farther inside compared with the front wheel. Like most supercars, there is a size difference between the front wheel and the back wheel. The back wheel has a smaller rim, a slightly smaller rim with thicker tire, and the front wheel has a larger rim with thinner tire. I think they're doing this setup for maximum performance so that the Ford GT can grip the road better for faster running speed. Here's another interesting detail. At the base part, there are lines and some texture on it. These lines form the texture to make it look like it's made with carbon fiber, just like in the real Ford GT. Side view mirror. A little casting detail. It's a bit hard to show on video, but here is the gas door, just beside the door handle. The passenger side is similar with the driver's side, like the different sized wheels, the side mirror, the bottom plastic part for the carbon fiber effect, and the aerodynamic design. The detail that's missing in this side is the gas door. There's none just above the door handle. The windows are rolled down. Well, in effect, there's no window because it's going to make it easier to open the door for later. You can see that the line in this part is deeper compared to the one in the casting detail in the door handle, because this line shows that the door can open. There are some paint details in this model. They're few because this model aims to be more realistic. Some of the paint details include, I think this orange colored paint is for the side signal light. In the wheel, there's a little text logo which is really written as GT. There's a text logo in the brake caliper. That is the same with the back wheel. Another detail that I would like to show you, let me turn the car a bit. There's some plastic detail just in the front of the back fender. This is a mesh pattern. It's rough and I think this is an air vent that is most likely for the engine. And beside the air vent, there's a large hole in this part. I don't know the technical name of this hole, so I'm gonna call this either the air chamber or the air duct. I'm guessing that the air chamber is used so that the air can flow in and out of the car to make the car faster by reducing the drag. And that's a nice detail to add in this model. The front of the model looks really good and realistic. I think it is accurate with the real car. The plastic parts in the front have textures and they're rough when you touch them, like in the front grille. It's just like it's having an iron grille covering the front. At the bottom lip are lines for the carbon fiber. Like in the other parts of the bumper, there are also lines for the carbon fiber. They're rough. The lights are made with multiple plastic parts. It's covered with a transparent plastic, and the plastic covering has some paint designs in silver. At the center is the Ford logo. On top of the Ford logo is the triangle shape for the trunk door. On the sides of the trunk door, there are some downward shapes for the air vents, just like in the real Ford GT. The back of the model also looks really good and realistic, just like the real car. It is filled with details, like in the plastic base on the black plastic part. It has carbon fiber lines. Here's a closer view. Carbon fiber lines around here. And within are air vents with mesh patterns. At the bottom are fins for the diffuser. The license plate is painted over, and you need another paper sticker to stick it over with to customize it. At the center top, just above the license plate, is a pair of exhausts in plastic with the text logo GT at the center. Earlier, we saw the air chambers, and here's another angle of the air chambers. I can stick my pointer through it, and this will really, in the real Ford GT, make the car run faster by reducing the drag. Here's the other air chamber. And the same, I can stick my pointer. The brake lights are made with plastic. More details are on the top of the Ford GT, and it shows some plastic parts attached on the metal body. There are some plastic parts in the front that is for the air vents on each side of the trunk door. It has a texture pattern similar with the air vents in front of the back fender earlier. The full form of the front light, it has plastic parts under the plastic light shield. If you call that one the light shield, the covering for these bulbs. Paint design on the light shield for realism. The wipers attached on the windshield, I think they're really made with one piece. They're together and they don't move. This one looks like it moves, but it's just elevated a bit because of the way it was attached. Some of the interior details visible through the window. Nothing on the roof except for some lines that tapers down towards the engine. Here's the engine window with vents just beside the engine window. Some of the engine parts visible through the window. The gaps for the air ducts from earlier. The full form of the back wing. Let me pull this a bit back. Here's the full form of the back wing. It's supposed to open in the real car, but in this model it doesn't open. It's just a casting detail to make it look like it does open. See the lines? They're not as deep as the lines in the engine door. We are going to see the interior and the other interactive features of this Ford GT. To see the interior, we can open the doors instead of just peeking the interior through the windows. To open the doors, you just hold the window part with your two fingers and the thumb at the bottom. Wiggle it a bit until it pops out. And you can open the doors by pulling it slowly upwards. The interior is now visible in the passenger side. I'll do the same for the driver's side by just the same procedure, pulling it up, and the interior is now visible. I'm going to zoom a bit. Here is the interior of the Ford GT. There's plenty of detail because of the size of the car, but we're just going to see the ones that are very interesting, like the steering wheel, which is not a circle, but rather squared circle. The steering wheel even has some casting details for the buttons. I think these are navigation and control buttons. At the bottom, which is at the pedals, this is most likely the gas, and on the left side is for the brakes. I think there's a foot pedal on the side here that is for the resting place for the foot while driving. I just discovered that these things behind the driver's wheel, these are called paddles. I think they are the manual transmission paddles. So if you want to change the speed of the car without using the automatic feature, automatic transmission, you can use this. I don't know how to do that, but it's a good thing they added this detail. Just behind the driver's wheel at the console is some console detail with some colors. I think this is really a sticker stuck on the part, the casting detail, because the part here is a bit elevated. You can see the white pieces at the edges. So in time, when this bottle is a bit aged, it might peel off. Here are some of the details. You can see that there are some car seats, but before that, carbon fiber is still present. Here's the car seats. Okay, and on the car seats, there's an additional detail, and those are the clips in colored red for the seat belts. There are only 2 seats in this model because this two-seater. There are even additional details in the middle. Let me see if I can zoom in a bit. Oh, the door has been closed. Okay. All right. So I'm going to zoom in. Well, you can see that there are some buttons at the center. I'm assuming that those are the automatic transmission buttons or some additional control buttons. For the passenger side, okay, fiber part still at the doors. It's very detailed. Here's another look at the inside of the doors. Here is the passenger side, which shows half of the driver's side with, again, additional console parts at the center. And I think that is the back cam or some other console gadget. Some buttons, and these lines, very familiar. These are the carbon fiber lines. They have texture. The same at the bottom part. The back view mirror has a mirror sticker. The same also with the side view mirrors. The side view mirrors have these mirror stickers. They're reflective. At the seat is another detail. There's a seat belt over here. It's hard, it's just a casting detail, it cannot be pulled off from the side, so it's just a prop. headrests, so the passengers can rest their heads while this is in motion. Okay, now that we're done with the interior, I'm going to close the doors. And doing this, if you notice, if you have this Ford GT, you might find it hard to open the doors at first because the joints are a bit tight, but it will loosen up in time. The other opening features of the Ford GT are the trunk door in front. You can just pull it out, and the interior of the trunk is visible. It's a very small trunk. I think you can place a small backpack, and that's just about it. Closing it is very easy. Just push it down. The other opening part is the engine door. To open it, I just tap it from the base. Okay. And the engine is visible. There are even carbon fiber textures on the engine parts. Here's the other parts, and there's even some text logos, powered by Ford, at the sides of the engine. Very detailed. Here's a close-up of the vent on the left side and the right side, just on the side of the window. This is a Maisto model, and it has a suspension feature. If I press this down, and here, and both, it works. This is a large scale model, and there's a steering feature available. So if you turn the wheel in the front left or right, it will, but it won't stay in the position you'd like to. So I suggest if you want to do that, you just turn the wheel, then you place the model in the pose that you want, like this one. But it does move again, so you need to press a bit until it stays. Not only that, when you rotate the wheel left and right, or the wheels, if you want to rotate both wheels, the steering wheel also works just like the real thing. So here I'm going to rotate the wheel. As I do that, the steering wheel is rotating like the turning of the wheel. So if I turn the wheel to the left and to the right, the steering wheel does the same at the range. And that is nice. This ends my video art on the 2017 Ford GT Special Edition by Maisto. Thanks for watching, enjoy your collection, and see you with the next model.